Welcome to That One Time with Adam Metwally, the podcast bridging the gap between health, hustle, and happiness. We are at the beautiful Music for a While studio, and I'm with Scott Tweedie. We're going to get to know him over the next 10 minutes ahead of the full episode. What's up, Scott?
I was just playing an intro tune in my head.
In your head. All right, so who are you?
Scott.
What are you best known for? And for somebody who doesn't know you, why should they care?
Cool. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Scott Tweedie. I'm an Australian that lives in the US, been here 4.5 years. I get asked all the time, what do you do? Like, what's your job? So my world is split into a bit of TV hosting, which I'm lucky enough to host Australian Idol, which is live on TV. But a lot of Australians know me from my earlier work called Prank Patrol. But now I'm really into a lot of music, events, bringing people together. And I feel on the west side of LA, which is where I live, there's not enough of that. So it's kind of like my mission right now to bring music to life. So why should you care? Well, if you like dancing, like having a good time, you want to come along to one of my parties.
Love it. Let's play a game.
Play a game.
Best, worst, and weirdest, specific to your media experience. So what was the best experience you've had in media?
I moved to the US and I was lucky enough to have a job here, like moving here with the job, which is like step one, a really hard thing. So got offered a dream job, E-News, live, 30 Rock, New York City. It's like, are you kidding me? We're like a breakfast show. So that was amazing. COVID year, damn. It's like that became
Game
then
over.
like a Zoom show, pretty much filmed like this in our living rooms, like or our apartments. So it kind of went from like an extreme high to an extreme low. But I still had a good time. And then the show got axed and I was like, I'm staying in the US. I just know I'm meant to be here. Was working on some other things, but then Australian Idol came up. It hadn't been on air for 14 years. And I was like, I've like hosted a music show for 8 years. I've got a lot of live TV experience. I feel like I organically mentor like younger Australians that are moving into the music space, the media space. So I was like, I really want to host this. And so I just backed myself going into the audition and it was the most confident I'd ever been. Left it. So I did in this like shitty little studio on Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood. The production company, rented that out just to screen test me. I put down, hands down, my best audition ever. So I walked out of there going, look, even if I don't get the gig, don't care. Like I've done my best. I'm so proud of the skills that I've developed, how I went into that. And if they don't choose me, they're lost because I feel like I'm one of the best people for the job, and then got the gig. So it was just like a nice, I think all these years leading up to it, that's like been my best moment in media.
What was your worst?
I don't know. I feel I just love everything that I've done. I probably would say I was in South Africa. We're filming I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. And I was doing like the little sister show. So it was a Saturday night show. And we just filmed our last episode. So I was in the clear and production were like, cool, we've got the finale for the main show tomorrow, filmed as live to tape. So it wasn't live, but as live to tape means you never stop. And I look at the producers and I'm like, cool, what do you need me to do tomorrow? And they're like, you're just in the crowd. And I was like, great. So where we film it is this like very secluded area, but the locals love us. So I went out that night and just ripped in with my small team. We had like a production team of like 5 people and the locals. And I more or less didn't go to bed. So I like went.
It's a common theme.
All the way through to the next morning, knowing that like all my duties was just to sit in the crowd and like clap along for the main show. And I was like, I've got that. I rock up to what we call like the set area. And it was basically a moment that I will never, ever forget where a producer goes, here's your lines for today. And I was like, what? And she goes, yeah, in Seg 7, you're coming on and you're doing this like Tourism South Africa promo where we're giving away a trip for 2 to this, to that and whatever. And there's all this stuff. And I was like, are you joking me? I haven't been, I didn't say this, but I was like, I haven't been to bed. So I'm freaking out because I honestly never like letting a production down and also like take my job very seriously. There was a miscommunication, didn't know about this. So an hour later, we do a block through. And it comes to the time, there's a big crowd there. It's, the high pressure finale of the whole season. Gets to segment 7 and I'm sweating because we're in the middle of Africa. And I walk out there and Chris and Julia, the hosts, are like, here's Tweedie. And like they start chatting to me. So I have my conversation with them and then look to my camera. And usually you have like an auto cue, which is about, this big where you read the words. But the way they were shooting this segment was like, they have a steady cam. So a camera operator has the camera on his hips and then you have like an iPhone size prompter where the words are. Because we're filming in daylight as well, they offset so it doesn't blow out with really bright lights. My haven't been to bed eyes with quite a lot of alcohol in me still. I talk to them and then I turn to do my part of like the promo. I can't read it. So I'm there going, oh, my internal monologue's like, oh my God, I don't know what it says. I don't know what it says. So I just start making it up. And I knew the crux of it. I was like, we have got a fantastic opportunity for one lucky person. You get to come and experience beautiful South Africa. Flights for 2 people, return. That was right. But then it was like, and I can see the prompter lady trying to find like, she's like, what is this guy doing? He's going off script. And then it got to the point where I'm like, and you get to stay in an amazing hotel and the hotel's great. And I was just like going, it's got a pool. It's got and just to the point where it was getting worse and worse. Like I couldn't describe anything else without saying like the hotel name, whatever. Yeah. And the director's like, stop. What are you doing? And I was like, guys, I'm so sorry. I cannot read it. I cannot read the prompter. And this energy of the entire production just on me being like, shame on you. Like, how dare you? And I felt so bad. So we did it again. And the next take was the one they actually used. But like, it's probably worse because they brought the prompter really close. So then I was like a deer in the headlights. And I'm like, you can go to the amazing resort. That was just like the worst scenario that could have happened. And so like, I think moral of the story, wait until you're clear of every single thing to do a production. So that's what I've taken from that. But mate, that was so bad.
That's wild. I love that. And what was your weirdest one?
I mean, just Google Scott Tweedie and Prank Patrol. And look at my hair.
I watched a full episode and I was like,
do you want to start there? That's like chemically straightening my hair. I had ninjas. And you know, I was 21 at the time, like trying to be cool with all my mates and then like got this role. But on the flip side of it, I just lent into it. I was all in. Funny. I was all in. I was like, I had to be. If I was trying to be too cool, it would never have worked.
No, not at all.
Yeah, but Google that.
Yeah. Okay. Fuck, marry, kill, live TV, YouTube, or short form?
I would F live TV. It's just fun. There's the energy of, I feel more relaxed when I can see a red light on a camera, knowing we are live because it's real. What's happening is happening. So like you can be as prepared as you want to be, but once real human interactions happen, that's the best thing. So I love that. Marry short form content. I love editing. I love storytelling. I love finding bits of music and manipulating scenarios in edits as well. And I can lose 8 hours in an edit and I'm happy, but it just takes so bloody long, which then leads to killing YouTube. I've never done it. I really want to do it. I really want to do it. But mate, how much of a perfectionist I am, and like my art, which is my craft, which is editing, to get my head around a 10 to 20 minute video would take me 2 weeks. One day I'll do it because I just love it. I think it's the best form of media. I think right now when I've got a spare half an hour, I just go on YouTube and like don't even know what I'm going to look up, and just there's so many good creators. But I'm killing it right now. All
right. We'll try again in a year. We'll ask that question again in a year and see where you've landed. What's the biggest myth in making a career in media that you can debunk in 10 seconds?
It's bloody hard work. You've got to create your own opportunities. Every single little bit of success I've had, I've put in 1,000 times the effort to get there. Be hungry.
Okay.
That was 12 and a half seconds.
That was good enough. What book would you be happy to gift to 100 people?
I love the picture book, Places We Swim. It's beautiful beaches and beach pools, and oh god, it's a good book. I only say that because do you know that book or no?
No idea.
It's one of those like classic, you know, if like an interior designer's doing a house up and it's on the coffee table and you see it's like Places We Swim, and I was like, that's nice. I want to do one and rip it off called Places We Dance, and have a series of like great places that you've danced in your life. Like if I was to say places we've danced, where's your favorite place to dance?
On a beach in Mexico.
Do you like an exact beach? Like, have you got a memory of like that was the place?
Yeah. What is it? Papaya Playa Project.
Oh, I've never been there, but my friend made a playlist of that place.
Great. That was fun.
Is that Tulum?
Yeah.
Sounds expensive.
It was.
Yeah. Places we dance.
I feel like at some point.
Do you think I get sued for that? If someone's got a book called Places We Swim, but then I do Places We Dance, is that a different
way to find out?
Is that a different property?
I think so. What's a purchase you've made that's improved your life 100 times more than it's cost?
I mean, a microwave's pretty cheap.
That shit'll kill you. EMFs.
Damn it. But yeah, what doesn't? I don't vape, so I can microwave instead.
Yeah, balances that. What's one daily practice you swear by, even if people think it's crazy?
I think I really enjoy all my daily practices. I'm big into, if I can, finding time to meditate now and visualize. But I've like naturally always visualized what I want creatively. And so I've just never put that into the box of like, oh, visualization and meditation. And if I'm ever creating a series, creating a TV show, creating a party or an experience, I literally go through slowly, visually in the room and go, okay, have I got that there? Have I got this there? Have I got this? How's it going to feel when people are in there? I do the same when people ask me like where to go to dinner. I like drive down the street in my mind and I'm like, you should go there. You go there. So very visual. So I'd say meditation.
I don't think it's too weird anymore. So that's
no, it was though. If you were to tell my friends 10 years ago, especially like I grew up in Brisbane, boys' school, rugby, lads, they're all into building and developing all that sort of stuff. So like I've escaped that early where I'm in like Sydney, Melbourne, New York, LA. So it's not that weird for us. But I think for them it's still, if I was like, hey, should we do a 30-minute meditation? They'd all be like,
the fuck, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you could only listen to one more song for the rest of your life, what would it be?
It'd be Lovebirds, Want You in My Soul.
It's a great song.
Oh, just the intro.
Yeah.
Like it's like 3 minutes till the song
so
starts.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Great
So yeah.
song. I've got a core memory from that song, like the closing of a club back in Geelong. The light was like a really iconic house club that was running for a few years.
Yeah.
And their last song at that club, like sweaty 100 cap venue, was that song.
And like for people that don't know it, they're like, you like watch
What
them
is
and they kind of
this?
feel lost for the first minute and you're like, wait for it.
Yeah.
And it just like,
So good.
starts building and
Yeah.
building. And then like a minute and a half in, it's like the bass sounds like womp, 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 womp. And just with a big sound system.
Yeah. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received and how did you apply it?
I think it was day one with the new director for Prank Patrol. And so we had three episodes with a UK director because it was a UK format, or it came from Canada, came from Canada, the UK, then Australia. British guy came over, 3 episodes. Then we had the Aussie guy, Pete Lawler, who's done some of the biggest like live comedy shows around the country. He's very, very funny. And he just pulled me aside on that day one and was like, listen, you're a 21-year-old, you're doing a kid's show. But he's like, you got 2 lanes here. Like fully commit, be yourself, lean into it. Ignore all the other voices and also like voices from your friends and just commit to it. And he's like, and it'll work. And so that was like that for me and everything I do, just fully commit to it. Mm-hmm. And if I'm not feeling it, then I've got to be authentic and tell them, be like, I'm not feeling this and this is why.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. It's good. Who's the most famous person's contact you have and how did you get it?
I should have more famous people on my phone from all the interviews and stuff I do, but no, it's so like, with media, you have like these fleeting moments with people. I'd say like Guy Sebastian, but he's such a legend. I don't know. I knew him from like obviously watching him on Idol, and then I've experienced a lot of like behind the scenes moments with him. And he is like, what you see is what you get. He's such a good guy. But he put him with a piano and the way he commands a whole room, a whole arena, he's ridiculously talented.
Yeah.
Hence why he's done so well for himself and he's had such a long career. Because if you don't have that talent, you're not going to survive.
What's the strangest compliment you've ever received?
I don't know if it was a compliment. It was an observation. I was living in Sydney and I was going for a swim one day in like one of the harbour beaches. And I was with my girlfriend at the time. We just parked the car. We're walking down to the beach and this little kid out the front of his house had a lemonade stand. And I was like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll get a bit of lemonade. So I went up there and the kid's like looking at me and I was like, oh, I reckon. And he goes, oh, you're from Prank Patrol. And I was like, yep, that's me. So he's giving me the lemonade and he goes, huh, your armpits are hairier than I thought. I was like, what? I don't have that hairier armpits. It's just I'm a man with hair under my arms. And it was just the way he said it. And then he just continued with this thing. He goes, oh. And then like, okay, there's your lemonade. So I don't know if that was a compliment, but it was an observation.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
And my last question for you is, what's the craziest story you've been a part of that still makes you go, wait, that happened?
When I lived in Sydney, I lived in a house with 5 other guys. So 6 of us in total. And we used to throw, well, I did, but the boys would help me out. I'd throw New Year's Eve parties. And our first year we did it, I was like a tester party. So I was like, come to ours from like lunchtime till 7 p.m, then go to the main New Year's Eve, like Sydney. I had the pressure to have a good party. I was like, I don't want that. And so the second year, that was such a hit. The second year, everyone was like, you got to have the main party. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. So 2 of the boys worked at Red Bull. And I don't know if you remember those Red Bull trucks, and it opens up and it's got the DJ decks in it. We were like, we've got to get that in our backyard. And our backyard, we're in the middle of Rose Bay. We've got like neighbors either side, and there was like an apartment block out the back. We had to like hand saw the fence down and reverse the truck into the backyard, and it fit by like that much of each of the poles that were like supporting the fence.
Jump.
And then we had these like little L brackets, so we hand screwed the fence back on. Literally, it was like, we're such idiots. And then I built, because we didn't have a view of the Sydney Harbour Bridge and the fireworks, I built literally like 10 meters by 10 meters a harbour bridge in our backyard. So I built one, but our like neon, like you could buy it on like Alibaba, like 1,000 meters of like this neon string. And so I did that, and it looked so homemade, but like awesome. So whenever I got to the party, they're like, that's sick.
That's so funny.
I'll go show you the photo. Man, we had 300 people in there.
Pretty good.
It was wild. That party was insane. Yeah, it got sponsored by Absolute Vodka, but then we didn't have bar staff, and we're like, what do we do with those vodka? So then we got one of the Red Bull bars. I went to the Backpackers the day before down in Bondi, offered these 2 Irish guys $25 cash, but I was like, you can drink as well, because I think professional bartenders were like $100 an hour. I was like, that's so much money.
$100 an hour is crazy.
So I got the Irish guys, and then the guy downstairs that owned the cafe below Channel 10 was this Turkish guy called Hux, and he was like wanting to come so bad. I was like, Hux, you can't, I don't know. Like, and he was like roided up, and I was like, it's not really that scene. And I was like, the business mind, my business brain was like, hang on, Hux, if you pay for pizzas, the mixers, and 2 security guards, I'll give you 8 wristbands to the party. And he's like, sure. So Hux walks in with a magnum bottle of Belvedere. The Irish backpackers broke it within like an hour and a half, like dropped it and went everywhere. Hux wanted to kill them. And I was like, whoa, because he's like, just wants to be the man walking around with this big bottle. And I was like, no, man, listen. And the backpackers are just drunk. They didn't know what was going on. I was like, no, I was like putting out fires. It worked out in the end, but yeah, that was wild. He paid for the pizzas.
It's basically him like buying a table to go to your house party.
I was like, okay, how do I reduce the bottom line of this party? That, and that. You can come if you want.
Love it. All right. Well, I will see you on the other side. Cool.